Welcome to the Penguin Magic Podcast. I'm your host, Erik Tait. We have an incredible show for you this week. My guest is my boss. Wait, don't go anywhere. This isn't a performance review. This is a deep insight into the world of Penguin, how the modern Penguin came to be, the history of the Tarbell series, and never-before-told stories from behind the scenes at Penguin Magic. Mandy Roth is my guest. Mandy's the Chief Operating Officer of Penguin Magic. She films, edits, coordinates manufacturing, helps determine the tricks that are coming out, what artists we work with, and a ton more. She's arguably one of the least well-known and most influential people on the Magic marketplace. And after years of begging and pleading, I finally got her to sit down for an in-depth interview. Stick around to the end of the podcast for an announcement from me. But before that, I caught up with Mandy in our brand new mini studio, and now you get to join our conversation. Mandy Roth, welcome to the Penguin Magic Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I've been trying to get you on for a long time.
You have.
So for people at home who don't know, this is my boss. You're the Chief Operating Officer of Penguin Magic.
That's right.
But you've been involved long before, because you started Paper Crane Magic.
That's right.
Can you talk a little bit about how Paper Crane started and some of the early projects you were involved in? Because you didn't come to Magic from like a magician standpoint.
No, I didn't. My background was that I just was a videographer. Mm-hmm. So I was like a wedding videographer for a while. I worked for my church doing a lot of like promotional videos. Mm-hmm. And then my friend Sean Dunn saw David Blaine's special. Mm-hmm. And I believe he saw a magician at a restaurant. Mm-hmm. And he then was like, I have got to know how to do this. Okay. So he went to the local magic shop and he started buying tricks. And so he'd come and hang out and show us tricks. And we just thought it was so goofy, to be honest.
Yeah.
But one day we were talking about work and stuff. And he showed me a tutorial video from an illusionist product. And he was like, this is like the top end. This is like the top of the line magic product. Okay. And I was like, wow. And no shade to illusionists, but I was like, I could do that. Like, have the ability to do something of that quality with my own gear that I own, which shocked me. And he was like, we should do this. We had no idea what we were doing. Yeah. Like, we were like, we're going to start a magic company. We thought we would make promo videos for magicians and stuff. So we made a couple things. And then we were like, I know. He was like, let's make a beginner DVD. So here we are, like nobodies. And we're like, let's make a beginner DVD. So we make this beginner DVD.
Who was in the beginner DVD?
His name was Brandon Williams.
Okay.
Really, really excellent magician. He used to live in Columbus. I believe he moved to North Carolina.
Okay.
And then it just was kind of serendipitous. Sean sent the demo to Murphy's, and Tim Trunno saw it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we went really bonkers with it. I was like, it was called Declassified. Mm-hmm. And so we made it like a spy drama.
It's well worth getting on YouTube and looking up some early Paper Crane demos, because they're crazy.
Yeah, we were very inspired by film. So we were like trying to make like movie trailers.
Yeah.
And anyway, so Tim Trunno saw it and he called Sean and he was like, hey, your video looks really good. Have you guys considered like working for anyone else? Because my friend Paul Harris is looking for someone to finish this project. I had no idea. Like, I was like, whatever, sure.
Yeah.
Sean is like starstruck, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
How could you, especially like knowing.
Now that I know, I get it.
What's the time frame here? Like,
this was probably in 2007.
Okay, yeah, so this is like when the Paul Harris.
Was when he was first doing Paul Harris Presents.
Yeah, so there's some, it's the Art of Astonishment books are out. He's a legend.
Yeah.
Like, so getting asked to work on some early Paul Harris videos must have been crazy.
Yes. So he flew Dan House out to Columbus and we filmed this trick called Flow, which I don't know if you're familiar with this one. So it was like the trick Anagravico or the where you turn the water bottle so you can like put a toothpick through.
Yes.
It was like another way to be able to do that trick. Yeah. So we filmed that, and then that was a wild experience. I mean, I learned so much. I learned so much from working with Paul. Paul would call me several times a day and talk to me for hours. I really ended up like befriending Paul.
Yeah.
I like Paul. But we worked with him for a while, but we built all these relationships. So we got to know like Dan House. Dan introduced us to Bob Smith. And then we just kind of people started wanting to work with us because they wanted these crazy trailers, I think is kind of what it came down to.
Yeah, because you guys were involved in the Paul Harris Art of Astonishment DVD set?
No, we were maybe going to be, but I think that went through several rounds of editors. Like I think Wayne was first working on it, and then Bro, I think, was the one that finished it up.
There was a bunch of stuff, and then some of those early trailers are they're truly amazing. Like we can't make trailers like that anymore.
No, because people don't have the attention span.
It's definitely like super fun sometimes going back into that archive, especially like when we're doing trailers today and we like go back and look at old ones.
Do you know that back then there wasn't a great place to get like royalty-free music. We wrote all the songs.
I know.
We wrote all those songs. So like, I actually occasionally, we did the demo for a trick called Lit by Dan House and Dan.
That's the one where the card like turns into the matchbook.
Yes. Great trick. Yeah. It's still one of my favorite songs that I've ever written but it's so funny. I'm like, man, I can't even imagine writing a song just to use it in a Magic demo.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, so you created Paper Crane, because like Cypher came from Paper Crane.
Cypher, yep.
And then there was a bunch of stuff, because I first met you at Magi Fest long before Vanishing Ink had it. Like, I think I was visiting town or something like that from Toronto, and you guys just had a booth.
Yeah, I remember meeting you at the bar.
Yeah, that was.
You didn't have the whole beard.
No, I don't think I had glasses at the time either.
You might not have.
No.
I think you just had like this little like pointy thing.
Yeah, it was not good.
Okay?
It was not good. But so when did Paper Crane get involved with Penguin? Because I think that's the question when I'm out, when you send me out on the road. Because by the way, I don't go on the road on my own. She goes, Erik, you'll be going here, and then I do. But people go, why Columbus? Like where?
Yeah, basically we were putting out tons of products, and a jar called Sean and started talking to him about wanting to just purchase our stuff. And he really wanted Penguin to get behind it. They got seriously behind Cypher and a lot of our stuff. And we just enjoyed talking to a jar, and we would chat with him regularly. We got this space that we're sitting in right now, the studio, in I think we got it in 2010 or 2010, I think. And we told him, we just got this studio. We're hoping that gives us all this more ability to film stuff. And Ajar said, I've always had this idea of wanting to do live streamed lectures. And I was like, well, we could totally do that. And so he was like, all right, let's do it. Let's start Penguin Live, and then Paper Crane would just be the production house that facilitated it happening. So we started doing that. And it just meant, every Sunday. These were live.
Yeah.
And they were every week.
It's crazy to think about how impressive it is what happened.
Yeah.
Like that every week, because like there were different hosts.
If you watch the really early ones, Sean's occasionally hosting. Ajar drove down from Ann Arbor for a lot of them, and he would come and host them.
Because he had that big.
He had the giant shotgun microphone.
It was like he was hosting Price is Right.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was crazy. We didn't know what we were doing. We had never live streamed before, so we learned a lot of stuff, and we just like rolled with the punches. And eventually, it just became that Ajar was like, "Look, we're doing so much together. I'm bringing all these artists in. Like, doesn't it make more sense for me to just fold you in?" And so Sean and I discussed it, and we felt like that. To be entirely honest, I at that time really didn't like running a company.
Yeah.
I found it stressful, and I was looking forward to being able to just like film again. Yeah. And like that being the only thing I had to think about.
Yeah.
Now that didn't last very long.
No, we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah. So that was
how it came together.
So that happened, I believe, in 2012, and it was like right on the cusp of there was this crazy, huge convention in Vegas called IMX. I don't know if anyone remembers it.
Yeah. I mean, now we're getting into like, you're a diehard Penguin fan for a long time if you remember IMX.
Yeah.
Because like, wasn't Jay Noblezada was there?
Was Jay there? It was this giant convention put on by this guy. I believe his first name is Craig from South Africa.
Yes.
And it had...
It's the guy who does the South African
Yes.
School of Magic.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And there were and just an incredible amount of performers.
Yes.
And so he wanted to live stream it. And so we worked out this thing. So we flew out there with desktop computers and our whole thing, which was wild. And we streamed everything. And in fact, that was the first time that we worked with Dalton Wayne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, who's on the cameras right now.
Yeah.
Who's also he edits a bunch of the stuff for
And
Penguin these
he
days.
was super young, and we flew him in, and he's diligently ran a camera for that whole thing. The most wild stuff we ever saw.
Yeah, that IMX, people still, that comes up every once in a while. People still talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a good and bad experience.
Yeah.
It was how people like variety in conventions, but they don't like that they might miss something.
Yes.
So it was that. It was you chose what you were going to see, but it meant you were going to miss some. And so then people were really upset about that.
Yeah.
So the streaming and the video was a way to kind of make that feel okay.
Mm-hmm. And the early days of streaming around here were insane. The area we're sitting now is it's our fun new studio that we get to play with and do social media in. But this used to be where what we call the command center lived.
Yes.
There were 3 PCs over here.
Yeah.
And a streaming station over there. They used to, because you guys used to stream the show that happened in here in the bar next door where we filmed.
Yeah, every Tuesday night. Because Dan would do...
How did the Tuesday night show get involved?
So what happened was Cranzo was our regular host for Penguin Life. And I think he just had some scheduling conflicts and stuff coming up more regularly. And Sean suggested that we reach out to Dan Harlan, who lived just about 2 hours away at the time.
Yeah, because so this is sort of I can start to fill in gaps here because I used to work with Dan at Magicopolis in Santa Monica around the time that what we'll refer to as the bad times.
Yes, yeah.
And Dan came back to Ohio.
He came home, which is where he's from.
Yes.
And he was living near his mom.
Yes.
And I think he went through a whole restorative process, I'll say.
Yeah.
And Sean was reaching out to him because we had done some products with him, something called the Minotaur, which was a video version of a magazine.
You filmed Minotaur?
Minotaur, yeah.
I still have that DVD somewhere.
It's great, isn't it?
It's so good.
And then Switchblade.
Yep.
We did a few tricks with Dan. And then anyway, so he was like, I think Dan would be a great host. And I was like, hey, let's try it out. So Dan really crushed it. He really was just a fantastic host. He came to us and he was like, I have an insane proposal. I want to do a video series on every single trick in Tarbell, called Every Trick in the Book, where I literally perform and teach every single trick. And we were like, that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
And he was like, I know I can do it. And Ajar is game for anything. If it's he's not one to be like, that seems like a lot of work. He'll be like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So it just made sense to be like, all right, well, if we're going to do this, what we're going to have, at first we started and we tried to have these just little one-time shows. And it was just like, this isn't going to work.
No.
In order to do this, we need to have a show every week.
Because even some of those early one-time shows are, if you go way back into the Penguin archive, there's not even seats in here. There's couches.
Exactly.
It's just couches, a couple of camera people. I don't even remember what the lighting situation was because there wasn't a grid at the time.
There was, I believe we just had some of those what you would put outside, floodlights.
Yeah.
We just had some floodlights.
It's so crazy to go back and look at those and see what amazing quality footage was got. And the insanity of where these institutions in magic, but started with.
Oh yeah. I mean,
nothing.
You just got to work with what you have.
Yeah.
And you can have nothing but a phone and make something look amazing.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that was always, it's the restrictions that kind of bring out your creativity.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we made it work. And we decided we're gonna have a show every Tuesday and call it Tuesday Night Magic.
Yeah.
And so we started doing it, and it was insane. It was insane. We'd put a show on every week, and it would be like Dan would need to do the lesson on like Cards Across or whatever. And it would be like, there'd be 13 versions, right? So it meant for 13 weeks, every Tuesday, I was going to see a Cards Across routine, right? Or like, but the most insane were the illusions.
Yeah.
The illusions were wild.
Yeah. I mean, they're full-on illusions.
Yes.
I think one of the things that often comes across, too, when people come to visit Penguin is, A, they find out the blue wall is not real wood.
It was real wood.
It was real wood
Used to be real
eventually,
wood, and it is a photo now of the actual wood.
Yes. but now they see it as spandex, and they're just like, this run by that. But they're also surprised at how small the space is.
Yeah, it's tiny.
It's very narrow, like this way. So these illusions are being done like right on top of an audience.
Yeah, and they work.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and they worked. It wasn't like, oh, people at home saw that. No, they didn't. Like, this stuff was awesome. Now, were there flubs and stuff? Yeah. And it was hilarious. And we would rewatch it and crack up and stuff, right? But no, I mean, so yeah, then Dan, and I think it was somewhere right around then that Nick LaCapo came in.
Yeah.
Because there was just we couldn't do all the stuff we were having to do.
Yeah.
And Dalton was like, hey, I got this friend in Orlando. And Nick just like showed up.
Yeah.
And I just thought, man, the balls, like he just showed up and he like stayed for a week.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like that he's just like, I want to do this, that I'll come up, you know? So I was like, let's do it. So he kind of took over being the producer of the Tarbell series. And that's really the reason it was able to reliably happen.
Wow, it's so funny too, like talking about how you make do with what you have, and this, because I know, like now you come in here, there's all this cool tech, and we've got all these things, but I remember coming in early. I think it was during the card manipulation thing. Nick and I had met doing a burlesque show, and Nick knew that I practiced card manipulation but didn't do it, and Dan didn't do it at all. So I teach the card manipulation, but I saw Nick like standing behind a camera and doing something with his hand, and I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, I hooked up a garage door opener to the thing. And so like the original edit for like some of that early stuff is not done on a computer or with it's done with a garage door opener.
In order to meet the deadlines that we had, we literally would film and edit it at the same time.
Yeah.
So Nick he had a remote that would cut close, wide, right? He would man the close camera. It was insane.
It was truly nuts that was
crazy.
happening.
Yeah.
But that Tuesday show turned into an institution here.
Yeah.
I mean, like every Tuesday night at 7:00, there'd be a line around the block.
Around the block, yeah.
Rain or shine or even snow.
Yep.
I mean, that was there all the time.
Yeah. It was awesome, and it was cool for the community.
Yeah.
I I miss it. It took a lot of work to put it on every week. And we just ended up having to prioritize other projects.
Yeah.
But those were the days, man.
And there's been some like legendary people have come through.
Oh my God,
like
Tom Mollica.
Well, one of the last times Tom Mollica's ever performing on film is in here.
He did his cigarettes here.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to see it. I mean, I have seen.
What are some of your favorite like things that you've seen in this room, like performance-wise, like magic-wise?
Well, let me tell you one that's not magic, just quickly.
Yes.
So we had John Archer come in and lecture, okay? And Dave Kaplan's a big fan of John Archer's.
Yeah.
And so before the lecture or before the show, I'm not sure if it's before the show or before the lecture, side note, we give each other Christmas presents every year.
Yes.
Right? Nick LaCapo gave me this ukulele. And we just had P3 and stuff.
Yeah.
So we just had it like on display. John picks up the ukulele and starts playing.
Yeah.
And then Kaplan gets the turkey baster and he's playing the turkey baster with John on. It was like so amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like you get to see that kind of stuff happen, which is fun. Favorite magic stuff. Oh man. To be honest, if you would have told me or asked me, I would have been able to think about it.
Well, this won't be the last time we'll have you. Maybe we'll do like a recurring segment of like Mandy's favorite magic things.
Oh my gosh.
But there's been some crazy stuff that has happened in here. I mean, just like
Yeah, like I just think about, I laugh about just a lot of the funny stuff that
Yeah.
happened. Like
Yeah.
Rocco just completely destroying the studio, right? Like and I don't mean that he was like a rock star that went crazy, but like he
did his act.
He did his act, and it leaves an enormous mess. And it's also just been cool to realize how many legends we have had here, and people that I've got to meet and spend time with. Like I got to spend time with Harry Anderson.
Yeah.
Like I went, not just got to see him lecture and me sit and be crew. Like no, we went out. Like we would always go out after every show. We'd go out to this pizza place and get pizza, and we would just hang out. So like I got to hang out with Harry Anderson. How cool is that?
Shooting Max Maven in the basement here.
Oh my God, the basement here is so scary. And we took Max Maven down there.
It's like one really fun piece of like Penguin lore is the manufacturing team affectionately refers to themselves as the Goblins. And it is literally because that the manufacturing team started in the basement of the theater, which is it's the scariest place ever.
It's got like the steepest stairs.
And like it looks like a cave. There's a giant pile of bricks that we don't know where it came from.
Why is it there? We don't know.
There might be tunnels down there. It's possibly
the
haunted.
back room has stuff that has been in here since the 1890s.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a frightening place.
Yeah.
And some of your favorite magic tricks were made down there. But
that's
like
true.
because didn't Dan did a seance down there once, didn't he?
Dan did a seance, so it was a part of the Tuesday show. So we did the seance down there. We rigged like night vision cameras because we needed to trigger stuff.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Yeah.
So when did you start like running Penguin? Because your title is COO.
Yeah.
Like you're like Ajar owns it, and he like functionally makes all the decisions because he's like the president and the owner. But you run the day-to-day operations and I think people realize like what an outsized voice you have on the magic marketplace. I think with some of the decisions you make day to day that the people at Penguin carry out.
I suppose that's true. However, I think I would feel better, or make me. I think what I'm trying to do is represent our customers and what they want. And I mean, I guess I a little bit maybe put my thumb on the scale, right? Where I'm like,
It's unavoidable that you do that in your position.
Yeah.
But I would say that I know that you take into account a lot of opinions and input from a wide variety of magicians. Like you're not just like.
No, of course. Yeah. And I think that there's some really basic foundation. Like we expect that magic be able to be performed, right? And that we have decided that performing, which is where like practice, perform, like that performing is the goal. And so that's a big part. Not to say that if you just like magic as a hobby and want to fool yourself in the mirror and stuff, that's also cool.
Yeah.
But you kind of got to pick a lane, I suppose, right? So I think it was pretty quick that I started to just take on more responsibilities. And I don't think it was just organic. It was like, I like solving problems, right? So if it was like, it probably started as like, oh, this thing isn't working great. Like this communication with people isn't great, or this way of tracking royalties isn't great, or whatever. I would just like build my own way to do it. And I'd be like, hey, Jar, I did this, so it's easier. And so I think he just trusted me and kept giving me more responsibilities, right? To the point that like, I've spent several months at the warehouse recently, not only like getting my hands dirty and physically picking orders and putting them in boxes, but it was in an effort to get to the bottom of like productivity and efficiency. And also just, I like knowing who works for us. I want to meet them. I want to spend time with them. I want to listen to them, and I want to hear them out and empower people. So yeah, I guess it was a slow process that it built to. I don't remember what year it was. There was a time where he was like, I'm going to give you this title because that's kind of basically what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool.
Yeah. It's I think you're very like, not like this is a performance review or anything like that, but I've always found that you're very good at giving the tools to other people and just like letting them run. Like the podcast only exists because I was like, I'm not very good at editing audio. Can I do this? I think it'll make me better. And you were like, yeah, go for it. And now it's it's a beast that can't be fed.
Yeah.
But it's but you've been really good at doing that with other people and collecting this like sort of strange team of like magicians
Yeah.
who keep magic at the forefront in all of this.
Absolutely. And I think that a good team is a good team because they're appreciated and valued. And I am not like, you wouldn't be talking to me if it weren't for the team.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, sure, I have a title COO, but
Yeah.
who cares unless I had these people around me.
Yeah.
So I highly value all of you guys and think you're awesome.
How have you seen so how long have you been with Penguin now? At least 15 years?
So 2012.
Okay, so
yeah.
Yeah, so
Coming up to 15.
coming up to 15. And Penguin has changed a lot since you came
yeah.
on board. Because before it was really a dealer and sort of like a catalog front for Murphy's and a handful of other producers. But now you've sort of you've not just seen it change into a large-scale production company and manufacturing company, but you've sort of overseen it. How have you seen the rest of the magic industry change at the same time?
Yeah, I think that a lot of ways that we've changed just as like in the same ways I've seen a lot of the companies change. Like there really weren't that many people doing complex physical products.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, for one, Penguin, we hardly ever did. We mostly were video content. We did the live lectures, we did instant downloads, we did a lot of that stuff. But when it came to like a physical product, we did them occasionally, but rarely. And it just obviously, as I think is a big topic of conversation, information only is not something that the world at large, I believe, wants to spend money on.
Yeah.
So that instant download sales started to drop. So we started to put more focus into physical products. I see the same exact thing happen with every company.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. I mean, I think it's also just being able to see what experts I have around me. So I think like we've done a lot more books, right? Part of it is that we acquired Hermetic Press. But in acquiring Hermetic Press, we learned a lot about the book publishing business. And so it suddenly opened this door of like, oh, we could publish books. And so we had you write a book.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's like that's been a wild thing to like watch happen.
Yeah.
Like being involved in like producing Craig's book is this like sort of experiment, like could we do this, to suddenly like Krmilovich and
exactly.
Mr. Fingers and now we're like working with other people to
Yeah.
bring their books. So it's not just like an in-house writing thing now. It's like
Or
a
like
whole
we
thing.
did Dragon Scale and
Yeah.
we never touched an electronic.
Yeah.
And we learned so much. And now we have like 4 or 5 electronic products on our queue, right? So I think it's just about saying yes and then figuring it out, right? And then you realize like, oh, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, or whatever, or now I know the expert to talk to, or now I know the source, or once you gather again, it's all about just the people that you gather around you. Once you have all of that, it really starts to feel like opportunities are endless. Like our artists, like Craig Petty, Alex Latore, these guys, I am in awe of their like creativity.
Yeah.
And feel so blessed that they bring that stuff to us to represent it and put it on the market. And there's nothing special about Penguin, again, other than like all of these things that we've kind of brought together.
You mentioned acquiring Hermetic Press a long time ago. What was Paul Richards' old company?
Elmwood.
Penguin acquired Elmwood Magic, and the most recent acquisition is JB Magic. It seems like it seems like it's not just about bringing awesome products to market. It also seems like there's a real drive to like preserve
Oh yeah,
like the certain
certainly. I mean,
things
because
matter.
Mark Mason, for one, there aren't a lot of producers that will sit. One trend maybe I have seen is that I don't see a lot of like handmade card gimmicks around.
Yeah.
Right? Like you've talked about our workshop. We have people sitting around desks all day long that literally sit there. I joke around. I'm like, we just have a bunch of people cutting paper.
Yeah.
Like, because they're just doing some pun cards all the time.
I will never forget a production run in the early days of Siamese Waltz where there was 3 people downstairs
Splitting
with
cards.
Owen O'Hare's card jigs, splitting cards, just tearing paper the hard way all day long.
Tearing paper the hard way.
Yeah. I think we probably have some of the best card splitters in the world.
Probably the fastest.
Yeah, definitely
too.
the fastest. Yeah.
So when I've noticed, of course I think if you watch the market and you think about tricks you loved, you'll notice, why aren't they around anymore? Like, and that was true of a lot of the Mark Mason tricks. Like, they were just constantly listed as out of stock and you couldn't find them anywhere. And I get, he's one guy. Like, he can't be sitting there and making a dozen of every single thing in his catalog every day.
Yeah.
You know? So I absolutely felt like maybe there was a little bit of like legacy, but it was that these are great.
Yeah.
And they're great and people should be able to have them. So like one of the ones I'm the most excited to put back out is called Slither.
Yeah.
If people get this, it will be like the most fun card gimmick you ever play with.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like a fun card gimmick. It will be fun for you to do to yourself, but also great to perform to people. Yeah. But it's just stuff like that. Like, it should be available because it's good.
How was your, you sort of gone from someone who had never experienced a magic trick to running a magic production company to you've even dipped your toes in on like the creation side of it now. Because Real Viewer is yours, and that's a great idea and a great method. And like, you're not a magician. Like, the only time I've ever seen you perform was when you came to an IBM meeting here and performed the pecan for people.
Well, that's not true. You've seen me perform another time.
When?
You came as just a person to the Tuesday night show, and after the show, around the bar, I believe I performed Card from Fly. And you told me at the time that it was the best version of that you had ever seen.
Well, it was plot driven. There was unique sleights involved. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I think that for a long time I would have been like, I'm not a magician.
Yeah.
I actually have no problem saying I'm a magician.
Yeah.
Back in 2007, maybe not that, maybe it was like 2009.
Yeah.
I bought stuff from Theory 11.
Yeah.
Like, I bought all that Andre Jake cardistry stuff.
Yeah.
And I would sit there as I edited and just practice and practice and practice all that stuff. And I think that is a part of being a magician, right? Like, it's just the obsession with it. I think the other thing I have been obsessed about is the experience of the spectator.
Yeah.
So as someone who's not the one performing, but I'm witnessing very closely the performance and the experience of it, I have a ton of thoughts about that side of it, right? Like, so things like justification and not belittling our spectators and not thinking that they're stupid, because I'll tell you, you sometimes perform to someone and you walk away and they immediately talk about how it was done.
Yeah.
And I have seen it because I've been there with cameras, you know? And I've also seen great performers just leave people fried, right? And that's obviously what we want. We want to just leave people completely astonished. So I have a lot of thoughts and I bring a lot of that to the production side of things. Or like when we're talking about like, what should the routine be like? That's usually the angle I'm going at, right?
Where do you see the magic industry going from here? Or at least like what can people sort of like look forward to, I guess, is the like, what are you excited about the future of the magic, like on the industry side? Because it's really interesting to like, I lived as a magic customer and performer for a long time, and now I'm on the inside of the industry.
Yeah.
And so, but you sort of have this much longer view of it and can see where it's going.
Sure.
What are you excited about in the industry side?
You know, interestingly, it feels like things go in cycles, right? So like there was a time where no one was publishing books because they were doing all what would have been a book as a multi-trick DVD.
Yeah.
And then that went away because video only formats went away and books came back, right? I saw the rise of magic apps, and I'm not saying that that's diminishing, but I almost feel like it's becoming really, it's more like you can make that for yourself only, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like you have to buy it. You can literally make something super custom for yourself to perform exactly the way you want to.
Yeah.
I find that to be very interesting. That is not industry side.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I think I see performers going in that direction. So I'm interested in maybe facilitating how do we bring out people's own individuality. How do we put products out that facilitate that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm interested. I think that these handmade gimmicks will always have a place. So I feel like I'm glad that we're doing that, you know?
It's really interesting to see how like the old style of handmade gimmicks being paired with the modern manufacturing techniques is like really, it's really going to make an interesting marriage of, you know, like, oh, we can have lots of stuff and we can do crazy things that we couldn't, like working on Diamond Cutter with Amanda Nepo it was like,
that opened up a million doors for us, right?
yeah, which is just, it's a crazy technology that people don't realize that by working on that product, it made hundreds of other products possible that were never possible before.
That's the kind of thing that happens, right? So it's like we don't know how we would make this.
Yeah.
We dig in, we're like, oh, we can do this. And then we're like, you know what? That allows for this.
Yeah.
Or makes this way more cost effective or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I just know that that's going to keep happening. So I can't even really answer your question because I'm like, I just know that there will always, magicians are always working with what's going on and what's in front of them. Like, I don't know if you remember when friction pens first before a product, and then it was like, there was a million friction pen tricks, right? I love that. I actually really love that because it shows me it's never going to become irrelevant. Magicians are always going to be, and it means we're always one step, we always got to be playing with what's new and what's happening. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm interested.
Okay. I know you and I both have to get back to work, but I'm going to ask a question that comes up a lot and you're the only person who can answer it.
Okay.
When are the Max conventions coming back?
Oh my. We had a lot of fun doing those. They were a lot of work.
Yes.
As you know firsthand.
So actually, I didn't realize that this was going to come up, but so we're working on this Mark Mason thing, and Word in a Million is something I've done a lot, and I've filmed it in a lot of places. So when I was going through my archive footage,
you found some from Max?
I didn't find it from Max. What I found was a lot of the early time lapses of us setting the room up.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
I didn't know you did that.
It was like, I remember we were screwing around a lot with GoPros in the early days. And so we weren't doing as much social content then, but we knew we wanted something. And so we had like,
wow.
So I
don't think people realize.
Yeah.
We didn't show up at a hotel and that stuff was there.
No.
Like the lighting and stuff. Like I drove a U-Haul.
Yes.
Across the country with rigging and shit. And then we would get there and we'd have to set it up in like 5 hours.
Yep.
And then we would just like go. And then we'd have to tear it down immediately after it ended. It was wild.
I think I did 4 of them. Of the big Max ones. This was before they did this is after
the expos.
After the expos. I think I did 4 of them. And I think I spent 6 hours on a ladder every time. Like setting up the lighting and stuff.
So what I would absolutely love to do a Max again. I would absolutely love to. I was bummed that COVID is obviously the reason that we had to cancel them. And then it just never was like the great time to do it again. I would love to. If you want it to happen, leave a comment. Let us know. I mean, no.
Yeah. No, maybe one day a Penguin Con in Chicago.
Yeah. I really do love meeting people and like.
it's been so much fun for me meeting Penguin customers, and the Penguin Expo the Max events were eye-opening as to who the Penguin customers actually are.
Yeah, and there are people that went there that couldn't afford to go to a normal convention or couldn't travel that far.
Yeah.
And so it was their own one and only convention experience.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I'd love to provide that again.
I will never forget Le Capo teaching a room of 300 people to do work. The Hummer card, the whirling card.
Yeah.
That was so nuts.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And Harlan teaching everyone rubber band magic.
Yes.
From the man himself.
Yeah. Oh, man.
You were doing stuff with...
Double lifts mostly. Yeah.
Well, you were giving people like crazy corner shorted cards.
Oh, that's right.
Like that.
Yeah. There was a plan for... We had begun acquiring watches because I was going to teach 200 people to do a watch steal.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, the plan was to put watches on everybody and then basically have everybody steal the watch of the person next to them,
Yeah,
like
that
all
was
holding
like,
hands.
I mean, that was like my vision for that event was that
Yeah.
it was a hands-on event. Like it was interactive. Like it wasn't just sitting there listening to someone talk.
Yeah.
It was being able to actually do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So that was fun. It was a great experience.
Well, Mandy, thanks for joining me here on the podcast.
Yeah.
We're going to get you back sometime. We'll have you tell more stories about like Tuesday nights and whatnot.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much.
Thanks, Erik.
That's going to do it for this week, kids. Thanks so much to Mandy for being on the show, and thanks to you for listening. I've been trying to get Mandy to sit down on the show for a while because I think she's such an interesting human with tons of stories, and one of the reasons she's finally relented is because you should know the rumors are true. My role is changing at Penguin Magic. In early August, I'm moving to Chicago from Columbus, where I will become one of the resident magicians at the Hand and the Eye. Don't worry, that doesn't mean I'm going to be leaving you, dear podcast listeners. I'm still going to be producing and hosting the podcast. But suddenly, I'm going to have more access to more magicians than ever before. It does mean I won't be in as many tutorials and fronting as many products. But don't worry, I'll still be around. When you're a Penguin Magic presenter, moving on to other opportunities doesn't mean that you actually leave Penguin. It's more like leaving the cast of SNL. You may not be on the main stage anymore, but when there's a Five Timers Club sketch, the old guard heed the call. So I still will be around and a part of the Penguin team. It just means in a different format than before. It's been the honor of my life to host live lectures, present your products, and teach thousands of people magic. I'm excited to take the lessons I've learned and turn them into magical experiences in one of the most incredible magic venues I've ever been fortunate enough to be a part of. I hope that I get to take you inside the mansion. As always, we're a weekly podcast, so be sure to like and subscribe, as well as share your favorite episodes on the social media platform that you are following Jimothy the Raccoon on. If you wanted to reach out to me about anything on this week's show, you're going to have to tie a note to your local cryptid and have it visit me in my nightmare dreams. I love Jimothy the Raccoon, but right now, what I really need is a Bartholomew short-spined possum to be in my Instagram feed. But if adorable mutant animals aren't your cup of tea, you can always hit me up on Instagram at Erik Tait. That's at ERIKTAIT. From me and everyone else here at the P3 Magic Studios, practice, practice, perform.